What up? What up? It's your boy Ricky D checking in Sports Corner from the 216. Playing with this mic. It's your boy Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ricky D checking in live stream. And you already know it's Sports Corner from the 216. What's going on though out there? What's going on? I'll be fiddling around and everything, trying to get everything together before I get into it. But Cleveland, you already know. Let's talk about what's actually standing, where the things actually stand right now. What's really going on? What's really going on in it? See, somebody been touching my board. Can you hear me? Oh, there we go. Yeah, somebody that touched the board. But anyhow, what's really going on? Because, like I say, can you hear me now? It sounds like I'm echoing. What about now? Yeah. What? It keeps sounding like hollow. What about now? You hear me? We live. What it sound like to y'all out there? Excuse me. Anyhow, it's a lot going on, man. National Football League, National Basketball Association. I'm not feeling this sound. What about now? What about now? I shouldn't be doing this live. But hey, man, you got to get it right or you get it wrong. Something got to go on. I think I'm a freestyle king for real. Freestyle. Okay, it ain't that. What about now? What about now? Y'all probably like, man, get to it, man. Yeah, it's a laughing moment. Laugh at me. Laugh. But yeah, man, it's a lot going on. You don't know. It's separation, man. Every sport is doing its own thing, especially in the city of Cleveland. You already know. And right now, man, we got everything going on. We got the Browns trying to put together a winning football team. You know, they they starting from the trenches. If you already know, if you're a Browns fan, you already know the first thing they went after in free agency was linemen. The Cavaliers, it's all about urgency. It's all about the right now. That's why they made that trade for Darius Garland and got James Harden over here, which, from my point of view, it was fun. It was fun watching them run up and down the court, but now it's more controlled. It ain't half court, like you know how it ain't half court, but it's slowed down. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like running gun and you just throwing up shots. That's over with. Of course, our guardians they love the farm system, so they discipline is rising to the top. They depend on their farm. They got good pitching. They got loyal players, aka Jose Ramirez. You already know the Buckeyes. They the Buckeyes. Every year for some reason they gonna be in the conversation of being a national champion. But I missed y'all. A week it kind of rolled, but it'd be like, hey, that's why I try to hit y'all with a quick note in between. But the conversation today isn't just what it's which approach actually works right now. I got my notes right here, y'all. So, I don't want to just be everywhere talking, but we're gonna start off with the Browns, because they the most interesting topic right now. The Cavs, they got like 11 games left for the season. So they in the playoffs unless they lose. And I think they still are making in the playoffs if they lost 11 straight. But I can't see that happening. But we're gonna get to them later though. You know, the Browns, my Browns, as you can see, hey, I try to slide the other teams in there. I try to give them some play, but I played that football. I played every sport, but that football, man, I love that. I love me some football because it's a real team sport. Like it's moving parts. It's almost like a chessboard, but different parts moving at the same time. So to make something work, everything got to be moving accordingly. You know what I'm saying? It's a game of strategy for real. That's why you got to be a good coach, and that's why they be needing so many other like coaches. You need a good offensive coordinator. You need a good defensive coordinator, and so on, because the head coach usually is what they call the CEO. He gotta be able to manage the whole team without having to lock in on like a certain area. But now if his expertise, if their expertise is a particular side of the ball, yeah, they might have some input. You know what I'm saying? Like, or the offense might be ran based on what the head coach prefer, and then he go get his. You know how it go. But yeah, the line, man. It's the conversation right now is with the sixth pick, like for the Browns. That's the biggest. Of course, they're gonna always talk quarterback until somebody solidify that quarterback spot. Preferably, I'm rolling with Shador. That's the one. I support Watson, but Watson time is kind of up. Like we need to move on from that because only thing Watson to do. Now, if you put him out there in the preseason and he shines, you might can get some value, some trade for him, but I don't really see that happening because his contract is so expensive. A team would probably wouldn't want to take that on unless they felt like it was a salary dump or they had a real chance of making it all the way. But that's what's really distracting the quarterback situation because it's like who do you go get to put in that room with him? Because Dylan Gabriel, yeah, even if he stick around at the same time, you can't really depend on him. I feel like you're going to try to get a trade for Dylan and send him down to Atlanta with Stefanski because Stefanski has nothing but left-handed quarterbacks at the moment. Penix, um, of course, they just picked up Tua lefty. Go and shoot Gabriel down there. Pick up a nice little vet that could if you need him to step in, he can step in, but more of a tutor to Shador because of course Watson trying to get the job. He want to win. You get what I'm saying? So he want to win the job. I don't know how bad he want to win, but I know he want to win that job. But the most important thing the Browns have done this season, and I know I was talking about the sixth pick, but that's what I'm trying to get to is the fact that the line, they are building the offensive line over because a lot of our linemen are mostly free agents. Teller, they still trying to get some type of answer from Batonio, Posick, the center, Conklin, um, Dewan Jones was hurt and you can't really because he stay hurt, so you really can't put him as you don't really want to put him as a starter yet because he stays hurt. That's why the lineman at 6 sounds good, but we also need us a good, reliable receiver. Even though we have a decent receiving core, we still need a, a one of the receivers where you throw the ball and it's a good chance they didn't beat they excuse me, the DB or when the ball go up it's a chance that you know he coming down with it. And, yeah, that's the game. We hope Junkins is in health. His health is up because then if we got the running game solidified, and I've been hearing some people talk about Love. I never really watched Love play. I might need to watch some more film. But they saying he's like somebody you can't pass up. If you, like how they been saying about Downs. D- Downs like a safety, I don't know, but like if a Reese or the other linebacker, what is their last name? Dang. I just had them, man. They brothers though, but the one he had the freakish numbers at the combine or whatever. Man, what's that kid name? But the other linebacker from O State, them is like, but I'm more Reese. But what is his name? I don't want to not say the guy name. Styles, Sonny Styles. You know his little brother played DB, but them type players, them the two type players that if they there at 6, you gotta really, really, really think. But you also could be sitting there and somebody could really, really want them. And then now you get your value, to move down maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 spots or whatever. Bam. Find your lineman or your receiver. Cause I really feel like the receiver class is deep to me. Like I feel like you're gonna come out this draft with a good receiver, even in the later round. Speaking of receivers, the young kid for Seahawks, he just got the highest contract ever for a receiver, 4 years, like 160 something million. Boy, boy, boy. But getting back to the quarterback, after they fixing up the line, the line they signed 3 free agents, re-signed the linemen. We got like 3, 4. We got Zyder, we got Whippler, we got DeJuan Jones. I think they re-signed another lineman too, but they haven't really been pushing that quarterback. So today, I always talk my little mess about the local radio, but the radio people, local radio, I love y'all for real, man. If it wasn't for y'all, I would never be even thinking to do this or ever have done it or even went to broadcasting school to learn the ins and outs because I always been a fan of sports radio since a kid. So, I don't think that I have nothing and I'd like to listen to y'all because I get a lot of information from you all too. So know that Ricky D appreciates you fellas. But yeah, they was talking about how Dan Orlowski from Get Up was talking about how Ty Simpson is a better quarterback than Mendoza. For real, since I really started understanding the NFL drafts, I always I always like question the fact that why do they always like every draft just gotta have a quarterback as the top players. Even if it's a weak quarterback class, they still like push the quarterback narrative. because every team always needs a quarterback, but sometimes you could get the quarterback that might be the quarterback of your future in a later round. You might miss out on a quality pick because you're trying to go grab the best available quarterback when the best available quarterback ain't even probably better than one of the worst quarterbacks from the year before. And speaking on that, thanks. See, I need to start jotting these names down to some of these reporters. But it was a guy, and he was saying most of the class of quarterbacks coming out this year, most of the our current quarterback, Shador Sanders, he got him rated higher than all of them. So if Shador would have had another year of eligibility or whatever, he would have been a first round pick this year for sure. So he was predicted to be one last year. So I feel like that was a win-win for us. We got him in the later round. You know, his expectations got lowered. His storyline went up, but anyhow, we got quality at with a fifth round pick. Yeah, he got to learn. You know, everybody coming to the league learning. Everybody has traits that they specialize in, but like they say Shador don't read, he don't do film study good, but he has a natural innate skill set. Where, as in, it might be a quarterback, like, say, for example, the two quarterbacks we got, they said Dylan Gabriel is a film junkie, but he doesn't have that innate, like, decision making on the field, like, just pure athletic. But he's athletic enough with his skill set of being able to read film, but it's the innate skill set of naturally being able to react to certain plays. To me, in a sport like football, like even Monken said, he doesn't really go off the analytics. He goes off what's happening on the field. So in that situation, Shador is the better quarterback. If Dylan is really a team player, regardless of whatever the narrative was between the two last year, Dylan should support Shador. Shador can support him a little bit, but the way Shador can support him, Dylan has to naturally obtain, eventually get it. Now the film study, okay, look, Shador, this is how you look at that. This is how you look at this. This was going on here. You see them two, that's they reading. That's a Tampa 2 or something or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You see how he flinching like he coming up. That means he's not really coming. He's about to drop back. You know what I'm saying? But that's like simple mathematics too, though. But yeah, the quarterback situation really seems, and like I said a while back on maybe 3, 4 episodes ago, the Browns, they promote Shador as if he is the man. Like the last video they posted of Shador was him talking about, how he has to go through things because of who his father is alone. The trials and tribulations, the way Dion has been kind of teaching him when it comes to this sport, let alone life. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like the guy ready because last year when he started playing, every game I feel like he improved. Even with the Cincinnati game, Cincinnati just played him good. But every game he improved what he needed to. Like the mistakes he was making the previous game, the next game he corrected it. So, like he said in that one interview, give me a whole year. So now he has the whole year. So I always tell people, even though they got this Watson versus Shador Sanders competition and draft Ty Simpson, getting back to what they were saying, draft Ty Simpson, Dan Orlovsky saying he's the best quarterback. He wasn't saying the Browns should draft him, but he was just saying he think Ty Simpson is the better quarterback than Mendoza, which locally has started the Ty Simpson to the Browns conversation back up. When in all actuality, if you pay attention, everyone is starting to get it. Like, let's just go on and roll with Shador, add a veteran, maybe pick up a project in the fifth round again, because it's a lot of quarterbacks that were predicted to be high in the draft that kind of failed due to injuries and play from last year, or some of the quarterbacks that were to come out, they stayed another year. So all we could do with the quarterback situation for the Browns is hope Shador is more than what the the average person thinks, because he has a fan base, a supporting fan base, but it even seems like the Browns are supporting. Some of the local media are finally came to the conclusion, like, let's just roll with the kid, see what he can do. You know what I'm saying? But like the quarterbacks, that's an important role. But if you still gotta have things around him, and a lot of people, um, a lot of quarterbacks, the quarterback usually get the most money. It ain't really no lot in the draft. It's a lot of projects, like I say, but we sticking still though. The Browns, we hanging in. We just seeing what'll happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go. We don't want to talk quarterback no more. We want to see what's available with these other positions. Let's start locking in, um, doing some rating, draft, see what the draft really look like. Because sometimes people rise and then they fall and they fall and they rise. There's still pro days coming up, which usually are scripted anyway. So, but with all that's going on, that usually signals one of the three. They confident in the current situation. Like, of course, they're gonna add another quarterback because you just need another one for training camp and OTAs or whatever. People keep talking about 2027. I really don't see 2027 as, hey, if he flopped, then, but what if he only do half good? Then how you gonna get up high enough to make sure you get one of them quarterbacks? Because then you might try to draft a quarterback, and now you only drafting at 12, and that quarterback ain't too much better than what you had, you know. And then at the same time, this was a terrible um, free agent class too, because the only real free agent that was out there was oh boy, Malik Willis. Let me see. Write this down. I made a list with all the quarterbacks, free agents. Okay, so the quarterbacks that I was looking at is Tyrod Taylor. I don't want no Kirk Cousins. Jimmy Garoppolo, Carson Wentz, and Case Keenum. Like, these are vets. You need another veteran in the room just to be able someone to help help out the kid. You get what I'm saying? They don't want to force nothing because that's role that's just built around. That's built. I wouldn't be surprised if they picked a receiver with the first and the second first round pick. But one of them picks gonna be a lineman for sure. But like, just speaking on the Browns, jumping to the D, we already know what that is. They done added a couple of free agents. Quincy Williams, the guy from Buffalo to end, he kind of productive. We lost Diabate though. We still waiting to see what's gonna happen with Ronnie, little old state boy from Pennsylvania though. But then you got Emerson. You don't know, they might re-sign Emerson. So but the defense is solid. You can expect the defense to end unless they have some tragic injuries. The defense gonna be top 10 at least. I'd say top 15 at the least. Top top 10 is more. guaranteed, but at the least 15. Because they got Miles, they got the kids, Schlesinger running around, tackling everything. Then you got Graham, another year of Graham. You got another year of Mike Hall improving. You get what I'm saying? You got I think we need another linebacker. I hope they sign Emerson back, but Emerson, if they do sign Emerson, it's gonna be on like probably a 1 year trial run to see how he work out because cornerbacks be wanting their money too. So yeah. So yeah, the D, they the saying is that how the saying is defense win championships. So we build a good enough offense, the running game tick up. We might draft another running back. What was the kid I drafted in the let me see. Oh, that's the first one. Nicholas Singleton from Penn State. I think that is that the kid. Oh no, that might not be him. That might be him, but he was he was recruited as a receiver, but the guy like 6 feet 220, he moved over to running back and he excelled at the running back. So if you draft somebody like him, that means you got a big running back that can catch. So that's like a spell for Junkins and Sampson. You get what I'm saying? Like if you could just really make Sampson that solid third down back, or you could slide in Singleton. Even Junkins got some good hands. You know what I'm saying? So we good with the pass catching out the backfield. And then we got Rocket. Rocket's still on the team too. Rocket Sanders. He's a nice bruiser. He remind me of a Ruben Drones or something. If you're a real Brown fan, you know who Ruben Drones is. But yeah, man, I really feel like this Browns team, we about to really enjoy watching the Browns, man. They gonna love it too because they marketing about the boost, especially depending on who they pick in the draft. Ooh wee, man. But yeah, I want to quick commercial break. Because if you're building a thing right now, whether it's a brand, a podcast, or music, you need structure behind it. That's where Get Right Music Group and Management comes in. They focus on real growth, audience building, marketing strategy, and brand development that actually translates into results. I know it works because if you media, you need that Get Right Music and Management. If you're serious about leveling up, that's where you start. Make sure you go follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Get Right Music Group and Management. But moving on, man, to the Cavaliers. Y'all ready for the playoffs? Cause we only got 11 games left. Oh, don't forget you could call in 216-716-3005. Or you could join us on the chat. Sports Corner from the 216, Facebook. I think we over on TikTok and of course YouTube live. Let me see what's going on with TikTok. I'm gonna start hitting y'all up on that on Instagram too, cause but I need more. I need to get them followers up on Instagram. I'm only sending it to where I really need y'all to like and subscribe on YouTube at Sports Corner 216. Make sure y'all go hit me up. Let's see what's going on right here. Yeah, we live over here on TikTok. I got a Rose. I got a GG. I got some finger hearts. Oh, I got 100 game controls. I got 10 dolphins. Yeah, but them Cavs, man, we got 11 games left. You already know with a veteran like James Harden, man, the game slows down when it's needed to be, instead of just everything being rushed. You know, that late game execution, offense, slow pace, more controlled. You know, Donovan get to do his little dog thug thizzle. Hopefully he heal up. Hopefully the whole team heal up, man, because Mobley, he trying to build that connection with Harden, but Harden and Allen, man, they just connect. So you never really think the Cavs is down. They could be down 20 in the fourth, and you just because they got like a veteran, like a Harden, a once in a lifetime player almost. Well, I ain't gonna say once in a lifetime, but he got some good numbers. You know, they get composed late in the game, and they make the plays that lead to winning. So, man, you gotta love the Cavs, man. And you know what's really crazy? They really still experiment because Struce just came back. Like every time somebody come back, it's somebody important hurt. So they ain't even really play with the true 8 to 10 people that they might play, excuse me, in the playoffs. But based off of their roster, depending on who they play in the playoffs, as depending on how far they get, hopefully they make it all the way to the finals at the least. But we want them to win it. But if they win it, if you one of them people waiting for Brian to come back, you can chalk that. But Brian over there in LA anyway, they third seed, they balling. Brian then cut the hair off. He's sporting the ball head where he's sporting the real very, very, very low. Let me leave Brian alone. But I've been saying it like Brian, you might as well just leave it out and just chop it off, man, and go 180 on them. Yeah, but the team, man, they still experimenting. They trying to get that rotation together. But when you got a team full of players like that, you really can't just find a rotation. You just got to find the right players to fit the team that you're playing based off of how the game is going, rather. You know, and that's important because when you make that trade, especially a big trade, and we made a couple of trades, so we kind of changed our rotation for sure. The Cavs, but the NBA, man, the NBA balling. Like every time I cut on an NBA game, it's good. Like the NBA balling, man. I can't wait for the playoffs. The playoffs gonna really be intensified. Hopefully that boy K get better. Even though he made a comment and I'm like, well, f the guy. No. But right now he going through something. He had a collapsed lung. We got the cousins. I always call Michigan or Detroit anyway. I call them cousins. I got cousins up there for real, and I met some good people from the D during one of my expeditions in my past life. Yeah, man, but I met some good people, man. But yeah, we got the Boston, Milwaukee need to sit down. Giannis tripping. That's who they keep talking about. Giannis for Mobley. That's who Milwaukee supposedly wanted was Mobley. They must the Cavs like y'all. We need more than Giannis because Mobley's still a young up and coming all star at the least. Giannis is an aging. former MVP now with injury history. So yeah, you might have that instant success, but you done already shortened your window by trading Garland for Harden. You know what I'm saying? So now you gotta hope Donovan still want to stick around. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep an eye on that. But hopefully, we make a deep run. Like I say, at the least the finals to keep the team happy, and even get the man, the one that brought us one back, just to try to get us another one before he walk out the door. Because 2020 eight, I think 2028. They supposed to have a meeting at the end of the month, but they'll know by the end of the month if the Seattle and Vegas get their teams. So we're gonna have 32 NBA teams by 28 because they say the teams, both of them, has a value of over $7 billion. I might have mentioned that on the last episode. But yeah, man, the teams, man, they got to get that identity, man. Boston balling though, they got what's the name back, but even though Harden up there and Mitchell are older, I see the Cavs got a good 5 years because about if Harden and Mitchell can, because Mitchell about to play, he trying to get that big max. Harden just trying to keep the money rolling. We might extend him for a year or two after he got the player option. I think Allen still got a few years, so we got like a good 3-4 years to try to get some stuff going, and hopefully if Mobley's still around, we could just add on pieces around, and then Mobley become the man. Unless we come up on a player next year, because I think we got a draft pick next year, and it's a deep draft next year. And then speaking on the draft, Sweet 16 going on. Let me pull up who we got going. We got so it's the Sweet 16s for the man. They play. I think they tomorrow. So you got there's only one double digit seed that remain. That's Texas, number 11. You got three number ones: Duke, Arizona, and Michigan. I didn't even know one of Carlos Boozer's sons played for Duke. Florida gone. They got beat by Iowa, but in the East region, you got Duke, St. John's, UConn, and Michigan State. Michigan State gonna ball regardless. They gonna represent the Big Ten. Then you got Midwest. You got Michigan, another Big Ten, Alabama, Iowa State, and Tennessee. The South, I think Nebraska Big Ten too now. So you got Iowa, Houston, Illinois. Oh, the Big Ten doing it big. Arizona, Arkansas, Purdue, and Texas. So that's one, two, three, four, five. That's six Big Ten teams in the Sweet 16 for the men's NCAA finals. The women's play tonight. O State play Notre Dame. The winner advances, of course. So LSU and Duke, that's the first Sweet 16 game so far. There's probably some games going on. And some probably didn't happen. I just been doing some running around because this sports corner from the 216. So I'm gonna give y'all my opinions, my thoughts on what's going on locally before I go nationally. But yeah, O State women. So I'm rolling with the women. I'm rolling O State. O State go out. I'm just watching the rest of the way. I can't go with Michigan. Always kind of been a fan of Duke. So I think with the men's, I'm a roll with Duke. I'm a lock in on Duke, see what they doing. But yeah, man, the Sweet 16 fully set. The women's, the field is being narrowed today. Sweet 16 will be finalized by March 28th for the women's. Today is the 23rd, so damn, that's a whole 5 days. But yeah, man, the Cavs done rose they ceilings. They up. They doing they damn the thug thizzle. They play tomorrow at 8 anyway, by the way. But hey, yeah, man, we got another little ad drop going in for y'all. This one is from Reese. If you're watching this and thinking about building your own show or expanding your reach, use Restream. It lets you stream across multiple platforms at once: YouTube, Facebook, wherever your audience is. In today's content world, visibility matters. That's use Restream. Yeah, the Guardians, I ain't really been keeping up on the but they it's spring training. So they really just spring training is more like for a game, they might just be practicing how to hit the ball to the left field. You get what I'm saying? Like just hit the ball to the left. You know what I'm saying? When I played baseball, I learned how to do that though, how to keep, bat, boom, send it to the left, then send it right, try to crack it, send it to the out of the ballpark. Yeah, like we just always got good pitching, young guys at that. Hopefully dang, what's old boy? I was about to call him Trevisano. Um, dang, man, see, I got to get my names together, man. What's the little kid name? Chazana, Travis Chazana, I think his name is. But we drafted him last year or the year before, second baseman. They saying he finally starting to show, so he might end up starting this year too. Of course, we got a good farm, man. The Indians done had a good farm since I was a kid. That's where Manny, Tommy, um, Roberto, I don't know, Alomar. We traded for Alomar, Albert Bell. Um, they made some big trades back in the '90s when they was whooping ass. We should have got us like 2, 3 World Series back then. And I was just watching the local news earlier, and it's the anniversary from 16. The Indians getting celebrated. Raja Bell getting bobblehead night in May. They home opener is April 3rd. Baseball actually starts season openers in a couple of days. I ain't really I ain't really checked to see who the two teams were. But yeah, baseball about to kick in with the Cleveland crazy weather. It was just warm a little bit the last couple of days. It's snow outside right now. Yeah, it's snowing. If I showed you outside, it's white. But yeah, man, we did the Guardians just discipline, man. And they do it on a minimum budget. Like they don't go out spending crazy, and then they be right there with all the other teams that spend hundreds and billions of dollars. Cause some of them contracts people be having nowadays, they be having like $700 million contract. Like whoa. But yeah, once we get them bats, like we get like 2, 3 extra bats. I was talking to this one kid named Phoenix. He know baseball way. I should call him when I talk baseball, but he was talking about the Indians need to solidify the fifth and the ninth spot. And that the spots do mean a lot because your first three, you hoping they get on base. The fourth spot usually is the person that gets the first RBI, that brings in the first score, or whatever. And the fifth spot usually, get the other sixth, seventh, and eighth, and the ninth a chance, depending on what they do. But yeah, they get that power, man. It's on. But I see us making it back to the postseason. Hopefully, we win the division without having to win, come back down from 15 games out of the division league. That was history. So put us in the history books, the Cleveland Guardians. Even though I still mentally be saying the Indians, but I'm getting a little better at calling them the Guardians. But yeah, man, as long as they stay smart, continue to be conservative, man. The Indians, they the team. But the baseball season is the long. That's a drag because baseball start in March and don't end until October. Think about basketball long too, but baseball you be like whoa. And baseball, you got to really, really, really enjoy it to sit there and watch a whole baseball game. It's fun playing, but watching it is a whole nother thing, man. That's a whole nother thing. And of course, moving on, talking about the Buckeyes, spring practice is on its way. So they've been doing little drills, you know what I'm saying? Roster, they got Chris Henry's son, you got Jeremiah Smith, you got Sand. I think Bo Jackson, he's not Bo Jackson's son, but his name is Bo Jackson, the running back for Old State. So, you could expect them to win at least 10 games. The 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 bold stuff, but the thing with college though is more the NIL. It's all for Old State is always the same. Beat Michigan and try to win and try to play for the national championship. It's constantly like that. It's almost expected until some drop off, especially with the NIL, because O State must have a good alumni that's willing to, because they used to have the booster stuff back in the day. Now it's just the NIL. I'm not upset with NIL. It's more the transfer portal that always bothers me, but it's the game now. It's the way that it's played, and I guess when as a college program, you got to learn to play that game now. You can't. It's not about. I ain't gonna say you can't, but it's not about going out getting the recruits and then they there for 3, 4 years, 5 years, red shirting and all of that. They taking the money, and if they don't get where they want to be by the end of that first year, whatever you paid them to come play, they transfer portal. Because it used to be if you transfer, you had to sit out for a year. So now instead of sitting out, you just be like, "Hey, I'm out." I think you could transfer in the middle of the season. You could just transfer. But it's teams like big college programs like Alabama, Georgia, stuff like that. They getting how to play the game. Most State playing it well too. And you know what I like about Old State though? Most of the Old State players stay loyal. Like if they start at Old State, they usually end up at Old State. I think McCord McCord moved away. Like Will Howard he played for us a few years. But Jeremiah, he been loyal. Um, Junkins came from Ole Miss. I think Trevion was like a loyal Ohio State player. Yeah, but man, that's the part that I don't get. That's what's gonna mess college up. And now the high schools got NIL too. So yeah, man, it's a lot going on though. It's a lot going on. But before we wrap up the show, man, the Sports Corner content engine is built exactly for that, turning one show into multiple pieces of content, daily engagement, and consistent growth. Because consistency beats everything. That's Sports Corner from the 216 content engine. You already know. If you need assistance on how to start your podcast, um, speaking of podcasts, make sure you go listen to some previous episodes of the Think and Reflect podcast hosted by, your boy Ricky D. soon to be returning with a better concept. But make sure you go listen to some previous episodes because there's some real good topics that really make you think and reflect. That's the Think and Reflect podcast show on Spreaker by iHeartRadio and on all most streaming platforms that have podcasts. Make sure you go check us out. We on YouTube too. That's the one when I'm talking real life because just speaking about real life, man, I like before I leave y'all, I wanted to talk about some stuff about, creating. Like as people, like while we living, man, like I said the other day, I say while we living, learn to create and become a productive person so you can create a life. That's what make the whole what you want to call existence thing exciting. Like if you a creator, you gonna always have some type of hardship or struggle, but you gotta push through that. You get what I'm saying? You gotta push through that. You gotta keep finding ways. Like, and if you like to create, the creative mind will keep you so tuned in to achieving. Worries become almost absolute. Not non-existent, existent, but more absolute. Like you could brush them to the side because as a creator, you might think to make something or build something or, create something that can make a difference. You get what I'm saying? Like for instance, like for instance, y'all probably like, what this guy up to? Hold up. Like for instance, this product right here, Rideshare Protection Blueprint. If you do rideshare, if you do Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, any any type of gig work where it involves 1099, etc., and you might be out there driving and you get into an accident and you don't really know your rights, your legal rights, what you need to have to make sure you're covered, that everything is done correctly to where if you have to take time off, you can still receive some type of income or pay. Rideshare Protection Blueprint is what you need. Make sure you go on my Facebook page and look for a Rideshare Protection Blueprint or send me an email and I'll send you the link to where you can go purchase this ebook that will help you overcome insecurity while on the road doing rideshare. That's Rideshare Protection Blueprint by Deshawn's Marketing. It's a Deshawn's Marketing product. Don't forget, DM, email, or just go visit D. Calhoun on Facebook and look for the post and click the link. That's Rideshare Protection Blueprint. Yeah, man, getting back to the becoming, man. Like, even my daughter, she know becoming. You got to be becoming something. That's why I like doing this. I went to broadcasting school 12, 13, 14 years ago. So podcasting, I don't like to say this a lot, but I'm not really jumping on the trend. It's just timing. Certain things happen. Like even me doing the sports podcast, like I always tell people, one of my first media gigs was writing articles on an online magazine called For UMF, For Your Media Fix. It was from my guy Dread. He got the crypto boxers now. So if you into crypto and you like boxing games, make sure you go follow crypto. It's a free shout out, Dread. If you paying attention, boy, that's my boy. Dread, a silly guy. But yeah, it's called Crypto Boxers. But I did articles on there. I did the sports. I grew up playing sports. This probably should have been the first thing I did when I got into this world with sports because I love it. It's easy for me to talk it. I could keep going and going and going and going for real. But I'm about to leave you guys. This the boy Ricky D. This another episode of the Sports Corner from the 216. But before I go, I got a couple final words. And here where it stands, the Browns are building identity. And if you're a true Browns fan, you see it. The Cavs, they trying to get another one. They want it bad. Because Garland a good player, man, but they needed experience. And as usual, the Guardians, I don't know how the system just been passing on from the general managers, or they call them something else in baseball. And of course, O State always, hey, we need a national championship, O State. Is this the year? But yeah, different paths, same destination. And the real question is, which one gets there first? That's Let me know your thoughts. What's your thoughts, SC216? That's hashtag. What's your thoughts, SC216? Make sure you like, subscribe, and share on YouTube and wherever platform you like to be on. I'm pretty sure we there at Sports Corner from the 216 with your boy Ricky D. Because in this city, it's never just about competing, it's about finishing. And that's your boy Ricky D signing out. Sports Corner from the 216.